Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here on Craftin' on Ilum. Today is Tuesday, which means it is Andor Day. We watched all 3 episodes last Tuesday and have had 3 to 5 business days to process everything that happened in the first arc of Andor season 2. I'm excited but also concerned as to what's going to happen in this next arc because, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the first 3 episodes, Brasso dies and there's some crazy intense stuff that happens in the first arc with Bix, and I love that she gets her power back, and there's so many stories happening at once, and they're all beautifully and well written stories, and I loved seeing it all happening at once because it adds to the suspense and intensity building up to this ultimate rebellion. Couple of things just like fast fire, just like 1 minute overview, recalling what happened in the last 3 episodes. We got Mon Mothma arc or storyline, we got Cassian, we got Bix, Brasso, and Will, and then we also got Deidre, Cyril, and Krennic, who came in like a diva that he is. So I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 episodes. If I had to pick like my least favorite, which would be like slightly slower paced because of the jungle arc, would be episode 2. Felt like it dragged on just a tad bit. But I wrote down a list of all the things that I really wanted to highlight and like appreciate. I loved all 3 episodes. I loved all of the opening scenes. This show is just so beautifully shot. Like when we go to Chandrilla, or when we went to Chandrilla, all of the shots on Chandrilla were just insane. To be able to capture so much in one shot was really, really cool. I loved being able to get more Shandy lore, since I don't think we've ever been to Chandrilla or got really more of their history in Clone Wars or anything like that. In the prequels, it's just like slightly mentioned. Not even in the prequels, because Mon Mothma was cut out of Revenge of the Sith. So all the opening scenes, specifically on Chandrilla, the pacing again has been well done, and also in comparison to season 1, I feel like the pacing is much better. I love being able to see the mission that Cassian went on, because it did, while I didn't enjoy the most of the jungle whole situation, what I did appreciate was being able to see a disorganized rebel cell, and probably them having been brought up in knowing nothing but war, and so they still have like a child mindset but are also like child soldiers but like adults. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, and I enjoyed the setup for going to Yavin 4, because this is all leading up to, Rogue One and Cassian meeting that spy, and we're gonna go back to Yavin 4 and see the rebellion base in its completion. And of course, everything that happened with Bix, I appreciate that they have not moved on from her trauma. I appreciate being able to see how much stress and turmoil she is under, because she is still processing everything that happened in the past year. I love that she was able to take her power back and represent like no means no. And it's important that this stuff is depicted so that way we can have healthy conversations around very serious topics like SA. And then again, trigger warning, like if you haven't seen episode 3, just be aware. You can see my reaction video in the very beginning. There is a trigger warning that I put. I will say that I wish that they did put a trigger warning in the beginning of episode 3, just for people who have experienced SA, and so that way people are just informed before, because like maybe they're watching it with their kids or whatever. So my only critiques are the jungle arc dragged on for a little bit, and then the SA scene, it should have been forewarned for the audience. I loved being able to see more Cyril and Deidre interactions. I loved, in the past week, I've been just watching interviews with the actors, and the lady Denise and Kyle, who plays Cyril, they're talking with each other, and they said that they were just trying to like weird each other out on set when they were acting. I learned that Cyril laying in bed with just like his face planted onto the bed was something that he improvised. It wasn't in the script. I loved that like comedic relief, but also getting a little bit more information about Deidre. Also seeing that she she's capable of having a relationship with Cyril, and then her whole putting Cyril's mom in her place, and Deidre's mom was like, "Oh dang, like, you know, you bested me at my own game." So that was really fun to watch. Getting all that Gorman information and how, you know, we're going to see that escalation with the Gormans and proceed throughout the story of season 2, because that really is the catalyst for the rebellion, is what I am seeing. And then I also want to know if, gosh, Tay, I wonder if we're going to get like explicit confirmation, not like graphic confirmation, but just like verbal confirmation that he was in fact killed off by Luthen's orders by Cinta. I also want to shout out Star Wars for putting out a 1 hour Mon Mothma dancing YouTube video for us all to jam to. Literally, the song is called Brasso, and that is just crazy that you would name it Brasso as it was playing over his dead body. So yeah, that whole song is a 1 hour dancing YouTube video with Mon Mothma, and it is a bop, but it's also very intense. Like, I can feel my anxiety while I'm listening to this song, but also like it's energetic and gets me hyped. So it's a weird bag of emotions, that one song. But overall as well, just talking about the music in the first 3 episodes, it has been really great. I've really enjoyed the music so far. I loved hearing the Andor theme in different variations throughout the first 3 episodes. But yeah, the whole Mon Mothma having a breakdown under the weight and pressure of, you know, what's happening in her world, and then seeing the quick cuts to what's happening with Cassian and Bix and Brasso and Will, like the contrast, the heavy hard-hitting contrast between the 2 worlds that they live in was interesting to see play out, and definitely again added to the intensity of the show. So I think that covers everything. Can't forget sad boy B2. They have left him on Mineral, and so I'm interested to see when he's going to come back into play, and if he's going to be reunited with Cassian, because he was left there and he doesn't know that Brasso has died. And so I am not looking forward to that conversation that they're going to have with B2. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right into episode 4. It is titled Ever Been to Gorman. So I assume we're going to get a little bit more shots and information on the Gorman planet, and I assume that Cassian is going to have to travel there for some spy agent task for the rebellion. And so yeah, I'm super excited, but also again very concerned because we lost Brasso in the 3rd episode and there's 12 episodes. So I am a little concerned that we're going to lose Will or possibly Bix. I really don't know at this point. I don't know where this is heading. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. Again, yeah, it's jumping every year, every 3 episodes. So here we go. Also, the intro music sounded a little bit more like Mission Impossible agent type stuff. Starting with her trauma. All right. It sounds like someone's crying, or there's like an animal.
Oh, there you are. You told me everything. I know you wanted him to live, but Cassian said he'd seen your faces, so... Wasn't much of a soldier, was he? Dr. Gorst?
It's when I relax.
It's when she relaxes.
Do something about these windows.
It sets in.
You sure you don't want to talk about it? Thanks.
I love this song, whatever it is. Weird. Is he like a spy for the Empire? Is he working with Deidre?
I can barely see you.
Turn it.
I'm in charge here, Mother.
Another office.
On the shelf, Cyril, you've been played.
You of all people should understand the attraction of being in charge.
You were here, Cyril. You'd found a woman actually willing to make a life with you, and you just walk away.
I am
All of it
intrigued.
cast aside, thrown away, and for what? A field office on Gorman. They were always too good for the rest of us.
You are watching too
There's
much
that
Imperial
Gorman
News.
PR.
My
Yep.
opinions were well established before you relocated. Uncle Harlow used to wear nothing but Gorman twill. Who wouldn't if you could afford it? But the attitude, the arrogance.
Propaganda. Mother, you're being sold these ideas.
My
Mhm.
boy.
There it
Your
is.
gullibility is breathtaking.
This place is hardly a threat to the Empire.
Same time next to
This is hardly a threat to the Empire.
Same time next.
هايلاندز لوبي كواد
جماد فيلناش لما
ناشكم سمات دو بلوغ
ديلامكم سكم
جلس المبابي شخيب لو سمولاقي
باشمات ناشمات سي ما في لو بغت
Are they gonna try to recruit him? Are they like a rebel cell on Gorman?
Hello there. What can I do for you today?
There's already a lot of aliens so far too.
What about the melons?
Excellent choice. They're in season. This is a lovely one.
Where's Will?
I'm not buying another spider.
This one's free.
What do you want?
You're right. You're not a tourist. Perhaps you wish to know more about where you live. There's a candy inside with information on the wrapper.
About what?
There's a meeting.
Put it on the list.
He's barbecuing.
Who else stays here? You ever think about that?
No one's been here while we were gone.
What are you gonna tell him?
About what?
About what happened on the mission? The soldier?
Luthen cares about results. The deal went through, we won. It had to be done. There's nothing else to say. It's stuff like this. It's like you said, it's when we relax.
I can't stop seeing his face.
It fades. I want to tell you it goes away forever, but I'd be lying. Look at us. Look at this place. We're in a war. Not everybody knows it yet, but it's happening. People die.
I wonder if he knew.
Well, he does now. You and I are here now because he's dead. It had to be done.
It's interesting we're seeing a conversation about justifying and getting other people killed for the rebellion.
It's good.
You sound surprised.
You're better than I am.
Oh, no. No. I'm not gonna fall for that one. We're safe here. I know it's not what we want, but the insanity of the city keeps us safe.
And why are we being so paranoid?
Just trying to protect us.
You mean me?
What's so wrong about that?
It's warping things.
I don't want to lose you again.
That's not up to us anymore. You can't protect me. If it's a war, and you keep saying it is, and I know that you're right, but if it's a war, it's not up to us what we save, what we lose.
Am I messing up?
You didn't kill that boy because we're at war. You killed him because he saw my face.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Interesting.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to.
I love this conversation about sacrifice, basically, because this whole show is about sacrifice and what they're sacrificing and is it worth it? Is that pod racing? Oh my goodness, that's fun. I like that.
Left some files in the office.
Yes.
Where are you?
The safe room.
You were careful.
Yes, of course. Always. Look, I don't have much time.
Sorry. Tell me.
They made contact.
I've been invited to a meeting.
I was right.
With who?
Yay.
It's public.
It's a town hall, but this is them. It's Gorman front. I know it.
How do you know?
I told you I was being watched. They started breaking into the apartment. I know they're tapping the office comms. I assume I'm being followed all the time.
It is intentional. He is a spy.
It has to be them. Who else could it be?
Very good.
Well, let's wait and see what happens.
I thought you'd want a brief purge gas.
No. He'll want more than that.
Who's the we at this buffet of rebel plunder?
Luthen still got his spy.
Yes, sir.
The Axis desk. I notice you've taken an interest in this seizure.
The weapons, sir. There are some pieces that appear to have come from the Axis supply chain.
Have we nothing more definitive? 30 suspects in custody, and we are still ingesting and speculating. Where's the intel? It's what we squeeze from these arrests that matters.
No argument there, sir.
Hardly the tempo required for effective counterinsurgency.
It's disappointing on many levels. I see a variety of causes.
Pick one!
We're arresting too many people. We can't take it all in. Some of us have more people in custody than we can process.
Supervisor Young raises a serious issue. The problem is not unknown to me. Colonel Yularen and myself have a meeting scheduled with the Emperor to discuss amplifying our intake process. Well played, Lonnie.
The PORD was presented as an emergency measure, an overreaction. It was never meant to be permanent. Gorman needs this legislation more than anyone.
Boundaries, civil liberties, personal freedom, respect for local traditions. You've been voting with me on these issues for years.
It's a security, Mom. You're confusing criminality and politics here.
Really? Are we finding criminals or making them?
Why?
The 75 planets with the lowest crime rates. Look at them now. They're up 19%.
We can all game the numbers, Mom. And whose numbers are they?
Look at just the conviction numbers we're allowed to see in the places we know are peaceful.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Is this Luthen? Is he going to Luthen?
Hello, Lonnie. Dad Ramiro is running Gorman. Why Gorman? I don't know. I can't believe they've kept it so quiet. What's the obsession with Gorman? What are they after? I don't know. I'm trying to rethink this all with her in the picture. It doesn't make sense. All the propaganda. I can't be ISB. It's too slick. That's outside help. Smear campaign is an opening move, not an end game. I need the end game. And mirror self-access for good. Not by choice, but yes. We'll be standing by.
Mbrangastan. Nash fola dis Mbrangastan. Et vache tilam gouverne.
What do you think?
It's very passionate.
She lost her family in the Tarkin massacre. There was a promise that the new Imperial building would never cast a shadow across the memorial. Now they know the truth.
The Tarkin massacre.
People think the new building is meant to be a fortress.
Elector Islands.
They're playing right into their hands.
I saw you from the stage.
I stand out that much.
No, that's what's interesting. It might be helpful to have your advice. There must be some way to make our appeals more effective. Is there a law against seeking Imperial Council? Many people are starting to think this new building is more than just an annex. 16 years ago, Grand Moff Tarkin killed 500 peaceful, unarmed Gormans in the middle of that plaza. Maybe we can do some good together. Dueling.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah. Have a look. It's flashing.
Ever been to Gorman? I need an assessment.
I have to think about that.
Think about this. Think about the Empire choking Gorman so hard that even Cara Rylance gets off his comfortable ass to do something about it.
Oh my goodness. Saw and two tubes. Some nice X-Wings. Some more aliens. Oh, there's Will. Okay. Interesting that he's with Saw.
Has it been tested?
It works.
This is Pluty. He'll be your student.
We should concentrate on the station you're planning to hit.
You'll teach them all. You'll know where we're going when I tell you.
But I need to leave tomorrow.
Really?
This was negotiated.
Shut up, geek. I'll let our friend know that you're being taken care of. You're here till I get what I need.
So Luthen sent him probably, and he was trying to help Saw, but Saw likes to make his own rules and he doesn't play well with others. So here we are. Oh. Are they doing like a Ferrix dance or something? Okay, so just that last part, like, I wonder if it's like some type of like Coruscant drugs. Is it like medicinal? Is it like an actual medicine that she takes to like help de-stress and allow her to like go to sleep? Like, self-medicating to really provide relief for her trauma is intense to see. All right, overall quick run through of thoughts before we continue on to episode 2, because we are reacting to all 3 episodes tonight, because watching Andor, I simply cannot just watch one episode at a time because these arcs are insane. Pacing of the episode, fantastic. Music of the episode, so intriguing with the Gorman music. I felt like it's just so different. I can't put my finger on it yet. I can't pin down how to describe it or like what it makes me think about. But it's so particular to Gorman. Like, it sounds like culture is the best way that I can put it. Being able to see Cassian being able to like have those feelings and care about like a significant other that much is so interesting to see in relation to Rogue One, because I feel like by the time we meet him in Rogue One, he's extremely cut off and stoic and refuses to have any other feelings or thoughts other than getting missions done for the rebellion. There is nothing but the rebellion because he's lost everyone. He's just hasn't processed that grief, and it's turned into anger. And so it's kind of beautiful to witness what he is capable of, and with Bix, and the extents that he'd go to make sure that she's okay, which that whole conversation about, again, sacrifice being the one of the biggest themes of Andor, is sacrificing your life, your beliefs, your values for the rebellion to help bring about justice for the rebellion and progress for the rebellion, so in order for it to succeed against the Empire. I liked having that dialogue between the two to like actually address it and have that conversation between these two characters who have gone through a lot. Also, Cyril is basically intelligence for Deidre and therefore for Krennic and all them. I was fairly certain that they didn't just, break up. I guess, he found a better job, but he's still working at a cubicle-esque type area. The area where he's working, I think in the trailers, is where we see like the K2SO-esque units. And so I'm wondering if in these next 2 episodes we're going to be introduced to K2SO. Like, he may not be K2SO yet, but we'll see like the group of units. Also, Cyril is there, and Cyril has seen Cassian's face, but Luthen doesn't know via the intelligence from the Imperial officer in the ISB. Luthen doesn't know that Cyril is there, and so he's sending Cassian. And so if he sees Cassian, that I feel like that's where it's all gonna implode. Also, we only got a little bit of Mon Mothma, but it was cool to see her like advocating for basically vetoing these policies that the Empire/Emperor are putting into place to further oppress the Gormans, and is just really leading up to the escalation, the climactic point that's going to happen on Gorman. Whew, I really feel for the Gorman planet, for the Gorman like faculty of, I guess you can call them like a minor cell of a rebellion against the Empire, specifically for Gorman, because they think that they can use Cyril to, to their advantage, to help them, protect their homeland. And oh man, so I'm excited for this next episode. I really like the first one. I know it's probably going to happen where some people are like, I don't like seeing, the daily life. Like, maybe Bix and Cassian were into like normal looking clothes or real world looking clothes or whatever, but I enjoyed seeing, because it kind of reminds me of Clone Wars, where like the clones go to a bar, like we see them go to, or maybe it's not in Clone Wars, I think it's in Bad Batch, I forget what animation series it's in, but they go to a bar and it's like we're seeing the inner workings of Coruscant, and Cassian kind of mentions it, like we're protected by the chaos of the city of Coruscant. And so I liked seeing the different aspects. We get a little bit here and there, and Coruscant is so big and has so much depth to it. Like the underworld of Coruscant, we see it with Ahsoka and the last season of Clone Wars, where she meets the Martinez sisters, and we see a little bit more of like the underworld of Coruscant, the inner workings. And so I enjoyed it. I also like the little humorous points. I liked seeing that because it really sets the tone for the amount of loss. They want to live peaceful, normal lives like anyone would, but they can't. And it's depicting what they have to sacrifice. And so, whew. Anyways, this episode was great. And yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the second episode. Let me know your guys' thoughts, opinions about this episode, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.